October 20th meeting of the Irving Las Colinas Rotary Club. We think we have a president en route, but we're going to start figure it out at the time. So I don't know who's doing one. So Bill Martin up here, would you open a prayer? Sure. Rick Lindsay, I'm going to ask you in a moment to do the pledge, and with that, we'll introduce our visiting parents and guests.
Join me in the spirit of prayer. Eternal God, we give you thanks for this absolutely glorious fall day. We've had a couple of days of cool weather that have reminded us of the change in the seasons, and today you reward us with a spectacular day, and we give you thanks for it. We give you thanks for this club, its work in our community. We ask your spirit to be upon us to bless that work. We ask you also to be upon our guests, our firefighters, and our Chamber of Commerce representatives as they present to us today. Give us all your peace and keep us in a spirit of peace. In the name of Christ we pray. Amen.
If you would please place your hand over your heart and join me in the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Thank you very much. You may be seated. We're glad you're here today. Mr. Rick Lindsay is going to come up just a moment.
I know we want to.
Irving Fire Department, Aaron also, guest Robert also, and Joseph Lopez and Rotary from the U.S.
All right.
Rick Lindsay is coming to the podium right now. Give it up for past president Rick Lindsay.
It is my pleasure today to welcome our fire chief, Chief Victor Conley. We're going to celebrate an award today for our firemen and their quarters. So if I could get Donna, since you have a passion for great stuff matters and firemen to help, if you'll come up and join me up here, I would appreciate it. Help me welcome Chief Conley to the podium. Chief.
Donna helps me, and matter of fact, she's taking the lead on the Greg Matters for firefighters. That's a whole nother topic we need to ask her to come up and talk about today. I want to be brief. I was told to be brilliant, but I can't handle that aspect, so I'll just stay brief. What I want to share with you today is one of our firefighters. One of our firefighters, Steve, you'll come up here with me. Steve Deutsch is a battalion chief of the Irving Fire Department. If you get him around, I'm going to tell you about that. Steve is our most tenured firefighter, by the way. He spent 5.5 years being a firefighter up in Brighton, New York, upstate New York, before he figured out he didn't like fighting fire in snow, where he had to look for the hydrant all out. He came down here, and he's coming up on his 40th anniversary with the Irving Fire Department. I can say without hesitation, this man does not ever back down, slow down, or give in. I mean, he puts his best foot forward every single day, and that's why I wanted y'all to recognize him. And I want to thank you for giving us the opportunity to come before you and recognize Steve. It's an honor for y'all to take time out of your program and give us this opportunity. So thank you very much. I want to tell you a little bit about Steve. Steve hired on in January of 1983 with the Irving Fire Department with a salary of $1,500. Yeah, that won't get you too far nowadays. I can't hardly hire him at $5,000 a month now. You know, this guy came home at $1,500. He worked his way through the ranks, and I won't go through each one of those, but he became a paramedic in 1984. So about 70 to 75% of our call volume deals with EMS. And if I went down all the things, and I'll tell you a few of them, but if I went through all the things this man does for the fire department from the city of Irving, you say, how in the world does one person do all this? That's why we were asking in the budget for a second person, because when he leaves and I put somebody in his place, it's gonna blow their mind. They're gonna say there is no way one person can do all this. So Steve worked his way through the ranks, and in 2010, he became a battalion chief. He was a captain over our EMS program downtown, and he made battalion chief. He did such a good job. He changed that position to grade to chief officer. So he's been our EMS chief since 2010 in fire administration. He's built an enormous network, and I can tell you without any hesitation, doctors over at Parkland Hospital and the bypass system admire Steve and everything he's done for the city of Irving. So if any of you had interaction with paramedics, the hospitals totally respect their paramedics. They won't even stop us at the front door of the ER. They'll open up either their clot busting lab or a stroke. If you're having a heart attack with an elevated ST and you need to get a stent put in, you go right through the ER straight up. They open up these rooms, and it's because of this gentleman here and the fine work he's done with our medics. He also works with our EMS training specialist who has had articles published. So I'm just telling you, we've got a really great EMS program. And 99% of it is this guy right here. He does quality control. He reads through the patient forms. If the personnel are not filling out the forms the way he thinks they should be, he will call them down and get them straightened out. Because when you go before a judge, the last thing you want to do is look like you just started writing that first grade. So he stays on it. He stays on. So just a few of the things I want to share with you. Now I'm going to tell you why I want to bring him up here. A few of the things he does, and this is off the top of my head, and like I said, we had 3 pages of essential job duties that this guy does. So he's part of the state deployment team, what they call MISS. It's a medical incident support team. So anywhere in state Texas, he can be deployed to support that resources coming in and out and tracking there. We've had hurricanes and wildfires, even the tornado was over in Garland. Rowlett, even over a couple of there is a command center for that. He works with the DEA, so all of our first line drug administration for advanced life support. He has to deal with the DEA, some of them are class 1, class 2, class 3 drugs. He has to make sure that we're meeting the requirements of the DEA so we don't get in trouble there. Like I said, Parkland, Vitel system. Vitel, if you don't know what Vitel is, tell them what Vitel is.
It's the medical record that provides authorization for paramedics to use medications.
That's right, man. Vital telemetry or something like that. Anyway, it's short version, but it's been around a long time. A lot of systems throughout the United States copy the version that started out here in Dallas. And I've talked about a few other things. He also works with attorneys on subpoenas and bringing our medics forward. He does concerns and complaints, and then for official complaints, they have to fill out an affidavit and the whole responsibility. You can't just come in and say, hey, a firefighter stole a wallet. Okay, we're going to look into it, but you need to sign an affidavit because if you're lying, you're not going to come back to you. And that's, he has to do that. And you'd be surprised how many people do that. You know, they reached in my purse and got my credit card, you know, stuff like that. Okay, that's fine. We're going to start an investigation, but if you sign an affidavit swearing that that's what happened. And you'd be surprised many times I'm out. So, private ambulances, we have some private ambulances here in the city to make sure that the ambulances are supplied the way the state mandates that they should be to operate the city of Irving. EMS supplies, and I can just go on and on and on. You know, we're keeping the boxes supplied. You know, one of the things that I wanted to bring up here today and recognize it for is, you know, we just came through, we're on the backside of the pandemic, we're always kind of hesitant, or it's going to kick back off again. This guy right here was I guess, the lead of communicating with our doctors, the vital system to keep our medics safe, to look at how our response procedures are taking place, to bring vaccinations to our medics, how to protect ourselves, how to check them afterwards. Help me put together numerous response procedures, you know, benchmarks and trigger points, all these things through the COVID to keep our people, not only our community safe, but our medics safe. And I had a conversation when Chief Spider was here, and he was like, what do you want us to do in the police department? I said, stay at the road. We don't need you up there because we're only going to expose one man at a time. And that was because this gentleman here. He put those procedures in place to protect our people so we continue. You would be surprised, during the height of that pandemic, at one point I had 139 personnel off duty from exposure or they had COVID. That was 1/3 of my department, but what the community didn't know is that in place. That's kudos to this guy right here for keeping things going. That's right. He does all EMS, Roots Assignment, Live Nation, everything goes on with our community center. I'm just telling you, quality control. He works with the doctors on establishing protocol. He does benchmarks for giving 12 leads. I'm telling you, the list goes on and on and on. So I cannot get enough kudos to this man right here. And he's going to be an asset to this city for this one day when he decides to hang his head up. But in the meantime, I figured if we pat him on the back enough, he can stick around long enough for me to retire. And I'll have to get that. Anyway, Steve Deutsch, your EMS chief for the city of Irving. Thank you.
Steve, if you'll step over here by name, I would like to read what is on this board. And it says, Irving Las Colinas Rotary Club recognizes EMS Battalion Chief S.M. Deutsch for your commitment to integrity, excellence, courage, dedication to duty, leadership, teamwork, and accountability. We express our sincere gratitude for your professionalism, compassion, and loyalty, providing exceptional services, and protecting and providing a high quality of life for the residents, visitors, and businesses of the city of Irving, Texas, January through March 2022. Thank you for all you do. Thank you, Steve, thank you, another 4 years or whatever. Jim, I just want to say thank you, this is fire prevention month. We've had a great exposure and support for your folks. October 4th for National Night Out for the last truck from you. Last Thursday, we had Kimberly Hall, we came in, did a great job speaking. We'd like to recognize our battalion chief today. What a way to celebrate fire prevention month for the city of Irving. Thank you. Mr. President, that concludes my part of the program.
Hey, right here for a minute. Tell us what we're recognizing the police officers and reporters that we have today.
Thank you. Thank you for reminding me. Chief Miller will be here next Thursday. We have 2 officers, first and second quarter. So if you would please come and help us acknowledge those first responders and meet Chief Miller. Thank you.
Thank you, Rick, for helping to coordinate that on behalf of the club. Here, Oliver, would you come forward?
Actually, Kyle Taylor's gonna do it for us.
Kyle Taylor.
First of all, Rick and Victor can never have a microphone here, never get to the program, so. Thank you. Now, it's really an honor as an elected official of the city to realize we do have some challenges, but we have some of the greatest people who work for us, provide for this city and the residents services. And one of those, Victor and Chief Deutsch and those folks, but today we recognize another one. Celebrating 90 years of the Chamber of Commerce in the city of Irving, it's my honor to introduce Beth Bowman. She's President and Chief Executive Officer of the Greater Irving Las Colinas Chamber of Commerce. She is responsible for being the lead on recruiting and retaining those headquarters and companies that come to Irving and stay in Irving, so we can continue to be the headquarters. She's a nationally recognized Chamber of Commerce executive and economic development professional in Irving. I would be remiss if I didn't say this. She's a graduate of Baylor University.
Sycamores.
Bears, yes. She's a member of the Baylor University Alumni Association, Kappa Alpha Theta alum. She and her husband Steve enjoy spending their free time with their children. Beth actually has to run around with the kids, take places, so she's very busy. So Beth, there you go. Thank you.
Good afternoon, I think we're gonna kick off with a little video. It is National Chamber of Commerce Week. So only fitting that we would show you a video that launched yesterday at our annual meeting as we celebrated taking care of business for 90 years.
90 years. 90 years of taking care of business. 90 years of growth. It was 1932. Sure, we started small, but we started with a boundless vision. We started with small businesses that take care of our community. We grew to powerhouse corporations that take care of the globe. Dedicated leaders have guided us with skill and care. Community leaders, titans of business. 90 years of dedication from the top down. We've seen businesses through tough times and boom years. 2 world wars, the Great Depression and the Great Recession. The legacy of Las Colinas. We built the home of champions and now the headquarters of headquarters. 90 years strong, and this still feels like we're just getting going. 2022 was a new start. We've come out of the darkness, but it's a new world out here. Everything that used to be business as normal feels new, feels different, feels fresh. We were always open for business, but now we're sitting face to face, making deals happen, and once again, shaking hands. 90 years taking care of business, 90 years strong, but always one team of people bringing all 5 stars of service straight to you. Let's take a look at 2022, and I'll show you what we mean. People. The Irving Las Colinas Chamber of Commerce is on the front lines of helping businesses regain traction in this new economy. The pandemic caused disruption to our workforce. To help our members with their talent requirements moving forward, we remain constantly focused on diversity, equity, and inclusion. The Chamber's Changemaker series is a platform for our community to have critical and candid conversations about race relations, sexual orientation, and gender identity. The monthly series, now in its 2nd year, has been shared with thousands of attendees, providing expert advice on developing strong DEI initiatives. Doubling down of that, the Chamber's Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Fellowship Program is helping create new leaders for dynamic leadership positions. Place. This was a great year for growth in Irving, Las Colinas. We brought home more than a 188.7% return on our city's public investment into economic development. Over 45 recruitment, retention, and expansion wins, 14 of which were corporate headquarters, including 2 new Fortune 500 global headquarters. That is why Irving Las Colinas is the headquarters of headquarters in Texas. This growth brought over 5,800 job opportunities for residents and generated over $561 million in capital investment, resulting in the occupancy of over 3.175 million square feet of commercial space. We cut over 20 ribbons that opened new businesses, hosted our 3rd Small Business Blitz, where we visited 1,000 businesses and received firsthand feedback about the challenges facing small businesses today. We hosted the Colombian ambassador and took a trade mission to Panama. And while all of that was going on, we helped reopen Williams Square and won the Dallas Business Journal's Best Suburban Office Development and DCEO's Best Office Project Awards for Irving's new Christus Global Headquarters position. As always, your chamber advocates for sound public policies that support our business industry. In 2022, we had great success promoting our federal legislative agenda. Irving business leaders flew to Washington, D.C. to promote Irving Las Colinas' pro-business message. We visited 7 legislators and advocated for the CHIPS for America Act, lower corporate taxes, infrastructure issues, and child care legislation for workforce. Impact. Your 5-star chamber is committed to connecting with our community and our 2,000 member investors. This year, we hosted 9 in-person signature programs and 7 virtual events that covered a wide range of business and leadership topics. We kicked off the year with the State of the City, our first in-person program since COVID. We continued giving you access to leadership with the State of Dallas County. The Women's Leadership Forum gave the attendees information and insights on issues that face women in business. Our annual Back to School Luncheon provided 400 classroom kits for teachers starting the school year. And because everyone loves a winner, we once again hosted the Best in Irving. 2022. What a year! A 5-star year. 2023, here we come. We're going to keep taking care of business and keep powering progress right here in our new home in Irving, Las Colinas. I applaud the accomplishments of a great team that made 2022 a great year. Let's all welcome Beth Bowman, President and CEO of your 5-star Irving Las Colinas Chamber of Commerce and the Irving Economic Development Partnership.
Thank y'all so much for having me here this morning. And again, congratulations to you and your team. I would say when you look at talent, what your chief is able to accomplish, and you talk about, the opportunity for retirement to be nearer than most would want to acknowledge. The next generation of talent coming in, you're looking at 2 to 4 people to fill that position. And that's just not in your industry. You look at any other private sector industry, that's what they're discussing. So Chief, congratulations, and it's an honor to follow up. A lot of our success is attributed to the incredible city that we have the pleasure to live, work, play, walk, and visit in. Think about as a resident or an individual that's working in our incredible community. You want to work in a community that is vibrant. To have that vibrancy, you have to have a safe community, a healthy community. Our fire chief and our police chief and their entire teams work hand in hand to make sure that Irving is safe and healthy, and our residents and our workforce have access. So thank you for making our job a lot easier. We know we make your job more challenging, but we're going to continue to do that because our pipeline is full and healthy, and I'm going to get into that a little bit today. I want to just focus a little bit on our small businesses. They fuel our local economy. They're critical. They're part of the fabric of our community. And day in and day out, they need our help. So the chamber offers assistance from serving as the conduit to connect them with larger businesses, offering support of how to get them access to funding, and then also pulling up the red tape to roll out the red carpet to help them succeed. We're learning that programming, while we have the opportunity to host programming, really to authentically meet the needs of our small businesses, we have to work together and we have to go into their place of business to get to know them. And then they will open up the door for us to learn how we can help them. Next slide. We talked about this in the video. Just as a reminder, as the chamber, you are very fortunate to be in a city where The city realizes business trusts business, so the chamber serves as that voice of business. And in Irving, for almost 20 years now, the city has outsourced the economic development functions of marketing, business recruitment, business retention expansion, international affairs, sister city relationships, as well as board protocol for the mayor's office. Our team has the pleasure to handle that. Joe Lopez, my colleague, who's actually our most valuable chamber employee this past year. He just won that award yesterday. He helps lead the international affairs programming on that team. But you can see here, we understand those investments that the city chooses to outsource to the chamber through fee-for-service contracts. We understand that's with taxpayer money. And we take those payments and we want to make sure we're always returning a value to the taxpayer. So a lot of these numbers might not mean anything to you. At the end of the day, just know the work that our team does throughout any given year, we're saving you about $50 on your taxes that you pay locally. Throughout 10 years, it's about $1,500. Plus, we're providing opportunities for quality jobs for our residents to take advantage of, and then also those in the region. We're continuing to bring in, you can keep going. Continuing to bring in additional businesses as we look at our pipeline, and I will share, you look back right on the onset of COVID, we were kind of looking around as a team. Are we going to have any projects to work on? Our company's going to continue to look at their real estate. Our employees going to be back in the office. Some of those questions still remain unknown, but here's what we do know today. Yes, business industry every day is making a real estate decision. The war on talent is real. The employees have the upper hand today. And the employees are demanding that wherever they work or however they go into the office, that place is safe, has amenities, and reflects on their core values. That's what our research, our data, that's what the decision makers are telling us every day. So as a community, I commend our mayor, our council members, Councilman Taylor, thank you so much for that warm introduction. I'm glad to know when I leave the chamber, I'm a glorified rideshare driver for the next generation of leaders. But the brands that you see right here on this slide, they have their global headquarters here. A lot of it, location, right? If we could all take credit for location, I would be in this room. But it's more than location. You have to have the access to talent, and you have to be in a community where your community wants these businesses, right? So Irving's population, just over 260,000 residents, we have equal that employment coming into Irving. Today, as we've come out of the pandemic, but we never know when it's going to be back at the doorstep. What we do know is about 25% of our workforce has returned. And 75% have a different working environment. So we want to make sure we continue to support our employers as their employees re-office. We want to make sure that we're continuing to put priorities on placemaking. So you'll see here in a couple of slides, you can advance the next slide. Talked about location, the why. Next slide. One quick, I'll touch on industrial space. I know we get a lot of attention for being the headquarters of headquarters, but as the pandemic and consumer demand has shifted, again, we go back to our location, and we're #1 in the US for industrial space. Now I know you get some of the 18-wheeler traffic coming in with that, but I will share as consumers, we're driving that hub and spoke model. Because of our location, the distribution centers are happening right here in Irving, Las Colinas, mainly at the airport. But I will share, that's commerce That's consumer spending, that's B2B spending, that's drivers, that's freight and moving, that's our economy at work. We want to continue to see that grow. Respectfully, we understand it's a wear on the infrastructure, but there's 30 million square feet of distribution space that just in 2021 was leased. It's pretty impactful. I'm gonna go back to, as I talked about placemaking and lifestyle amenities, and I know Chief talked about the Toyota Music Factory, and his team has the pleasure to make sure it's a safe place for those that need attention receive that attention. We have to continue as Irving to have nodes of placemaking throughout the community. We're so thankful that the visionary leadership within the city, our citizens council, our boards at the chamber, the Convention and Visitors Bureau, LCA, within the heritage area are realizing we have to make nodes of placemaking, convening opportunities for people to come together and have some type of activity to take part in. And that's what's driving a lot of our success, the Toyota Music Factory, Water Street, and others. I want to touch on the importance of diversity. So we're the second most culturally diverse city in the US. That's a fact. As a community, I want to just continue to encourage each of you to get to know your neighbor, somebody that might not look like you or speak in the same language that is your language. We have to continue as a community to be purposeful in our inclusion, and that's going to take some time. The chamber serves as a safe place for those conversations. We know our business industry is really leaning in on this, and it's all around talent to make sure that talent feels comfortable where they're working and living. Next slide. As we look forward to the future, we're going to continue to focus on the city's investment in that light rail, continue to make sure TOD opportunities are ripe and ready. Hidden Ridge, which is the photo that you're seeing on the screen, it's just over a $1 billion investment opportunity. Phase 1 launch with Pioneer's 1.1 million square foot build-to-suit global headquarters, but there's phase 2 and phase 3 that we need to take advantage of. Really activate that light rail station, the investment that the city has put into DART. I'll talk a little bit about some of the headlines that you probably saw. Congratulations to Mayor Schofer, the council, Governor Abbott, our Lieutenant Governor and Speaker, and our entire economic development team. Having the pleasure to bring Wells Fargo home to Irving, Las Colinas will be a game changer. It will be one of the largest economic development, I get chills, projects to ever take place in Irving, Las Colinas today. It's a $455 million project, 800,000 square feet. And ladies and gentlemen, we're not stopping there. Within our pipeline on the economic development side, the chamber, we have over $1 billion worth of value in projects. The team generated about 220 economic development projects, Joe, give or take. 76 of those will carry over into this next fiscal year. 4,000 employees will come with this project. Our team's strategic. We're bold. You probably heard in the headlines, what attributes to Irving's success. Through collaboration and teamwork, we authentically know who we are, and we know what we want to get to continue to keep our city a great place to live, work, walk, and play. So our team's laser focused on target industries, target markets, and we are relentless in overcoming objections to turn that lead into a win, and that win integrated into our community, not only to support the chamber, but all of our nonprofits throughout the community. Changing work environment, I touched on this a little bit earlier. It's fluid. I'm often asked by mayor and council, who's back at work? Is everybody back? Here's what I'm here to share. Priorities are different. When you give an individual something that they've never had, which is an opportunity to work remotely or from home if they can, they now have a little bit of a different expectation. I do believe the pendulum will shift back think we have some rough uncharted territory that we are approaching. If you look at any other markets, I don't want to use the R word, but I do think we're gonna see some challenges ahead. I believe in North Texas because of our diverse industries, the various economy and global economy that's being run out of our region, and a lot of it right here at home in Irving, that we could be, again, last in and first out. But you're seeing companies are starting to pull back a little bit in terms of opportunities and leads within our pipeline. We're seeing it slow down. Houses of worship, your HOA, your book club, at the gym, the park. Talk about all the positive opportunities right here at home in our Las Colinas. We do have challenges. Every community has challenges, but I trust together we can work through any challenges because our business industry wants to be right here at home in Irving. They want to be engaged at the chamber. We're happy to be that conduit engagement, but we're also happy to be a conduit to crucial conversations that need to take place to continue to persevere and move our community forward. As Chairman Lindsay, thank you for your leadership and all that you do. Thank you to all the Rotarians in the room. Appreciate y'all inviting me to speak today. Look forward to being here in the future.
The great program today is always exciting when we hear from Beth and get an update on really what's happening in the city of Irving. So thank you for that. Any other announcements that we have? I did hear from Shane. He had a little incident with his family, but he'll be back with us next week. So if you'll stand with me, I know we ran a few minutes over, but Beth, will you be around for a couple of minutes if folks have questions? Let's do that. And Patty Landers, can I call upon you to lead us in the four-way test?
Please join me in reciting the four-way test of the things we think, say, or do. First,
Is it the truth?
second,
Is it fair to all concerned?
third,
Will it be good?
fourth.
Will it be beneficial to all concerned?
Thank you, past President Patty, and Kyle Taylor, thanks for being here today. Joe Lopez, thank you for being here. Make sure you